Hello, welcome to Sandy Ainley. I hope each one of you are okay. I so wish to read to you today part of the book Stop Thinking, Start Living, Please, by Richard Carlson, from the author of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, Richard Carlson. So I've read part of this book already via my YouTube channel. So if there's anybody new, I hope you shall catch up. 2, your thoughts and the way you feel. We are all constantly thinking, and it's a good thing that we do. Without the ability to think, our lives would seem to have little significance. It's important to realize that you are constantly thinking. Don't be fooled into believing that you are already aware of this fact, because you probably are not. Think for a moment about your breathing. Until the moment I brought it to your attention, you had most certainly lost sight of the fact that you were doing it. Breathing is so natural and automatic that unless you are out of breath, you simply forget that you're doing it. Thinking works the same way. Because you're always doing it, it's easy to forget that it's happening, and it becomes invisible to you. Unlike breathing, however, forgetting that you are thinking, even for a moment, can cause some serious problems in your life, including unhappiness, even depression. The reason is that your thinking will always come to you as a feeling. Let me explain the way you feel right now is the result of your thoughts at this very moment. In a broader sense, the way you feel is always determined by the thoughts you are thinking. Suppose you have the thoughts as you are reading this material. This is far too simplistic. My problems are far more serious than Dr. Carlson could possibly imagine. The result of this thought would be that you would be feeling skeptical and pessimistic right now. This is not a coincidence. Before you had these thoughts, you weren't feeling pessimistic. Your thoughts created your skeptical feeling. The words I've written did not. If the words themselves created feelings, then everyone who read them would feel the same way, which of course they don't. The relationship between your thinking and how you are feeling is formed so fast in a tiny fraction of a moment that always no one realizes it's occurring. Yet this cause and effect relationship between thoughts and feelings is one of the most powerful phenomena you will ever experience as a human being. Now, suppose that you were reading the morning paper. You came across an article about a little girl who was rescued from a burning building. As you read the story, you had the thought, what a relief. As soon as you had this inspiring thought, you felt an uplifting of your spirits. Again, your emotion was created by those thoughts about the event, not the event itself. If you had thought differently, you would have felt differently. For example, if you had the thought, it's about time they'd included a happy story. The papers are always filled with bad news. You wouldn't have felt uplifted but pessimistic in an instant. This psychological dynamic is true all the time. There are no exceptions. Lost my place. Oh my goodness, emotional response. The feelings that accompany the thoughts you are having happen in an instant. The psychological dynamic is true all the time. There are no exceptions. Now I'm there. Excuse me, please, each person. Whenever you have a thought and believe that thought to be true, you will feel a corresponding emotional response to that thought. Your thoughts always create your emotions. Understanding the significance of this fact is the first step in escaping from unhappiness and depression. Negative and pessimistic thoughts, regardless of their specific content, are the root cause of all your negative and self-defeating emotions. In fact, it's neurologically impossible for you to feel anything without having first had a thought. You simply wouldn't have a reference point. Try feeling guilty without first thinking guilty thoughts. Try feeling angry without thinking about something that makes you angry. You can't do it. In order to experience an event, you must process that event in your mind, thereby interpreting it and giving it meaning and significance. This understanding has enormous implications. It stances your genes or your true nature that is creating your unhappiness. It's your thinking. Unhappiness doesn't and can't exist on its own. Unhappiness is a feeling that accompanies your negative thinking about your life. In the absence of that thinking, the unhappiness can't exist. There is nothing to hold your negative feelings in place other than your thinking. I do apologise to each one of you. Some of what I read, I think I've already read to yourselves. However, I did add a little bit more. And again, I apologise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put today's date, if I recall it. And then it will be easier for me to remember next time, I hope. Okay, I'm down to here. What is the date today? Oh my goodness. My voice seems to be going. 4:26 on the 26th of November. So I'll put 26, 11, 22. And hopefully that shall remind me not to do it again. So, I hope you like my hairstyle. It's unlikely, but if you want to, please comment below. It would be nice to have a little idea as to what it seems to look like to people external to myself. So, I'm just thinking that I'm quite excited. I'm probably going out this evening to the Range shop nearby where I live, and a friend might be driving me, so I'll give some money to the lady for petrol, which I think is just the correct behaviour. personally, in my opinion. Just to say to you that yesterday I had an abominable day, and on the subject of thinking and feeling, I felt very weak in the cab on the way to my physiotherapy appointment at the hospital. And as a result of that, I felt nauseous in the car, and I almost threw up in the cab. And I felt very, very depressed. I got out of the car with the help of the driver, thankfully, and I walked with my 2 sticks into the hospital and sat down at reception, at which time one of the staff members in the hospital saw me, noticed me, and came over and asked me if he could help me. I was given a glass of water by this nice chap, and then I asked the chap for more. And then the chap said to me, "Fine, of course, it's a pleasure." I said, "Sorry to trouble you." The gentleman said, "No problem." So the gentleman poured me a second glass, and I drank it. And then at some point, the gentleman said to me something to the effect of, "I'm working with this gentleman." Now, I felt quite hurt because I felt that the gentleman was fobbing me off, really. And had I not felt so weak, I just would have said to the gentleman, "Thank you for the information." And then I felt upset afterwards with myself for not having said thank you for the information. And then afterwards, I had a gentleman drive me from the physiotherapy appointment to Wembley, and the cab stenched. I repeat, stenched. And I felt so ill inside the cab. And before getting out of the cab in Wembley, I just said, "Oh, I haven't had a shower for a long time. I can't remember when that was." And of course, I do recall when I had a shower last. However, I was trying to be subtle. And I think the gentleman caught on. Oh, that's my phone. Excuse me, please. It's my brother. Bear with me, please. I may have to end the vlog. This is urgent. Hello? Hi. I'm just going to close my vlog, Elliot, okay? 2 seconds. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for hearing me. I repeat, I have to take this call because it's urgent. So, take care to each one of you, please. Please look after each one of you and yourselves. And lots of love. Shalom, which is Hebrew for hello, peace, and goodbye.